I am a PhD researcher working with the European Space Agency, with ongoing access to the combined observational data for 3I Atlas. For months, I have been part of a formal working group that has tried, and failed, to reconcile these objects' behavior with any known class of natural celestial body. The official position is that 3I Atlas is a uniquely active but otherwise natural comet. This position is no longer tenable, and the silence from leadership on the cognitive dissonance this requires is becoming a serious professional issue for a growing number of us. It feels like a mistake in the data, until you've checked it 100 times with all the available instruments. The object is venting about 150 kilograms of gas and dust every single second. We see it, yet it does nothing. It's like watching a howitzer fire a shell with absolutely zero recoil, or smoke, or bang. It's a constant, violent event with no consequences. And that is a disgusting violation of basic physics. The only way the physics works is if the object has the mass of a small moon crammed into a space no more than 2 to 3 kilometers across. The lower models give us a limit of 33 billion tons, which just creates a second, worse problem. Finding a fucking mountain on an interstellar trajectory is statistically impossible. Our surveys have only just started. To find an object this massive this soon means the galaxy isn't just dotted with debris. It's swarming with them. The models are wrong by a factor of 10,000. Our entire picture of what gets ejected from solar systems is fundamentally, grotesquely flawed. Or, this object isn't debris at all. And that is the quiet and terrifying conclusion we are being discouraged from discussing. You look at what's actually in the gas, it gets worse. We're seeing pure atomic nickel steaming off. It's happening at temperatures where it should be frozen solid. This isn't gradual, like ice turning to vapor. It's a switch. The nickel production is insanely sensitive to sunlight. A tiny change in heat and it just shuts off. There's only one way you get that: a breakdown of a parent molecule. The only option is nickel tetracarbonyl, something we use in industrial refining. It explains everything, especially why there's no iron, but it is not a naturally occurring compound. What the hell is a synthetic chemical doing on a rock which we think has been in space for billions of years? And the dust it's shedding is just as fucked up. We measure how light reflects off it, its polarization. Tells you about the texture of the particles. Every comet, every asteroid, they all fall within a certain range. The thing's data comes back so far off what's expected, our director insisted we were fucking up for the best part of a week until we repeated the result. The only way to get these numbers is if the dust grains are something else entirely. Not sand, not ice. Large, incredibly complex particles. Black and porous as smoke. It's not natural dust, it's a manufactured material. The chemistry is wrong, the physics is wrong. It's a perfectly self-consistent system of wrongness, as though its whole purpose is to make us doubt ourselves. And it gets worse. Hubble and Webb see a feature that shouldn't exist. Faint, greasy smear of a tail pointing straight at the sun. Supposedly, a massive CO2 jet is firing from its sun-facing side, powerful enough to lift heavy water ice grains that sunlight can't easily push away. A violent directional engine. Okay, fine, but it isn't rotating. We've stared at it for days on end. Its brightness doesn't change, not by a fraction of a percent. It's a fucking dead flat line. A jet that powerful on a rotating body would create a pulse, a flicker, a rhythm. We see absolute, perfect, unwavering stillness. The explanation for the tail requires a violent directional event. The observation of its light requires a perfectly uniform cloud. You can't have both. One is a lie. Either the model for the tail is bullshit, or that cloud isn't natural. Then there's the heat. The fucking thing is cold. It's absorbing gigawatts of raw solar energy, enough to power a small city. We calculate the energy budget and there's a massive surplus. That heat has to go somewhere. It should be driving off enormous plumes of water vapor. But the water isn't there. It's like pointing a blowtorch at an ice cube and watching it refuse to melt. The object has found a way to either dispose of or regulate an enormous thermal load to keep its surface locked at a specific low temperature. And that's before you even look at the path it took to get here. Its trajectory is a statistical joke. It's a perfect low angular momentum orbit, the kind that guarantees a close pass. The physicists who model this stuff are blunt. There is no known natural process that filters massive objects onto these trajectories. It wasn't just a random encounter. For all intents and purposes, this thing was delivered from the darkness. You don't get it. None of these are separate problems. They're all symptoms of a single underlying sickness. A jet powerful enough to make the tail would make the object flicker. It doesn't. A body that massive should be dead. It isn't. The sun's heat should be boiling it alive. It feels nothing. Each paradox is a wall. And we are all standing here, staring at the walls, refusing to see the shape of the room. This isn't a failure of our models. This is a glimpse of the machinery running underneath them, and it's wrong. It is a macroscopic quantum object, a stable, massive particle left over from the first microseconds of the Big Bang. A bubble of a different set of physical laws that has managed to survive, cloaked in a skin of our reality. The name for this engine in theoretical physics is a non-topological soliton, or cue-ball. This isn't a theory. It is the only known physics that makes the data coherent. Once you look at it, the entire system of wrongness snaps into a logical, horrifying picture. The cue-ball is the mass. Its engine is its own decay. The lack of recoil is no longer a paradox. It's a defining feature. The outgassing isn't a jet. It is an isotropic ablation, a perfectly spherically symmetric outflow of matter as the core's energy boils its mantle from the inside out. There is no net thrust. It moves without consequence because the event is happening inside a perfectly balanced system. The toxic chemistry and the manufactured dust are the cue-ball's exhaust. A low, constant, internal temperature over billions of years is a different kind of furnace than a star. It's a slow burn reactor, creating compounds as an inevitable byproduct of its own physics. The dust isn't natural. It's the processed slag of an ancient furnace. The thermal lockdown is no longer a mystery. The cue-ball is not regulating heat. It is simply indifferent to it. The gigawatts from the sun are a trivial external variable to a monstrous 3 billion-year-old object with its own power source. It radiates solar energy away passively, like any inert rock would, because the sun is not part of its life cycle. The impossible trajectory ceases to be a statistical anomaly. This object is not debris. It is one of the horde. It is dark matter itself. We found one this easily because they are a fundamental, they are everywhere, not a rare accident of stellar evolution. This is not a matter of belief. Screen cap this. First, keep watching it. A comet's activity is a function of its distance from the sun. As 3I Atlas recedes into the dark, its CO2-driven engine should sputter and die. It will not. Its internal engine is constant. Its brightness and mass loss rate will remain impossibly high as it travels into the outer solar system. It will violate the laws of thermodynamics for a passive, cooling body. Second, listen for the engine. Its decay is not silent. It is a constant 73 megawatt particle physics event. This must produce a stable, non-thermal, high-energy signature. Point a gamma-ray telescope at it. If you detect a signal that is not attributable to solar-wind interaction, you are not seeing a comet. You are hearing the heartbeat of an object that doesn't follow the rules of physics.